All right, we're going to try this again. We're going to try this again because we're having problems. So bear with me as we set this up again. Okay, we got it. Please forgive me, family, but sometimes I have to make adjustments when situations are not right. I'm trying to divert what's going on because my Wi-Fi keeps going out and it's causing the video to pause and hesitate. So what I did was I put my pad, my camera on to my phone, and hopefully, Creator willing, I've adjusted the issues and the problems that we have so we won't keep losing video. So once again, giving all honor and praise unto the Most High King, the Creator of all creation, asking that He would guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, His people. May the Most High be praised forever and forever.
I'm not picking you up yet.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a delay, but you should have it. Is it live with you?
No, just the, there it is, it just came up.
Yeah. See, on my device, I'll be watching to make sure it's working right. So far, it looks like it's moving in the right direction. We're going to talk a lot. If you are a seasoned Israelite and you've been around for a long, long time, a lot of this information may not be needed and necessary if you dedicate yourself to the Creator in truthfulness. Because that's what it's all about. As I was saying before we were interrupted, there are a lot of people who are finding their way back to their true culture, to their true nationality. They're finding their way back to the Almighty. Now, they are coming back tainted, which means that our minds have been diluted from the fullness and richness of our people and given a portion of understanding from other nationalities of people. We bring that and we incorporate that into the ways of the Almighty. So what I thought to do was to go over a lot of the fundamental principles in Israel for the next couple of weeks or so and reach out to the people who really don't know or really not sure or aware of how to worship and serve the Creator in righteousness. Now, there are a lot of people who believe that what they are doing is acceptable to the Most High. But the Most High left on record what is and what is not acceptable to Him. And if you willingly violate the laws of the Almighty just because you think you understand something, there is no guarantee that the Most High will have mercy on you. There is no guarantee that He would ignore your ignorance. Well, I can't even say it's ignorance because you're willingly doing it. You do know better. Ignorance is the void and absence of knowing. But you know. You know what the Most High requires of you. So it's best for you if you walk in the ways of the Almighty blamelessly with your integrity. You know? When you know better, you do better. But for those who don't know, this will be an opportunity for you to learn some things and how to draw closer to the Most High and possibly allow Him to be pleased with your efforts through your actions. Okay? So you might want to go share the video, invite friends, family members, other fellow Israelite brothers and sisters that you know, even some of your church members. You can invite them and bring them in too, because we're going to do a little bit of traveling today. We're going to get this thing done. And the main topic today is going to be on integrity. It's going to be on integrity. Integrity is extremely important when you're dealing with the Most High. You know, Scriptures teaches us that the Creator judges us based on our minds, what's in our minds, and the actions that we put out. And a lot of people think that as long as I don't do something not even intentionally, as long as I don't do something against the laws of the Creator with a secret agenda, although I may err in what it is that the Creator requires of me, I'm okay. And that's not how the Most High operates. What the Most High requires of us is how we are to serve Him. And if we err in our obedience and lawfulness to Him, we err by error, by mistake, we are to make amends to the Almighty and ask the Most High for forgiveness. But there's a lot of us who willingly disrespect the Creator, and we justify our disrespect to the Creator by saying, He's going to forgive me, or I know what I've done, but I'll ask the Creator for forgiveness after I've done it. It doesn't go that way. It's not what you do. That's not how you worship as kings. Shabbat shalom, my sister. Shabbat shalom. That's not how you worship the Creator. You have to walk before the Creator in your integrity. And what that means is that you're putting your best foot forward. You're doing everything in your power to give unto the Most High what He commands of you. You know, you don't do evil knowing that you're supposed to do something else. Then that's not walking in your integrity. Okay? We're going to start our book. We're going to start our reading in the book of Job. We're going to talk a little bit about Job. You know, they say that the story of Job took place back in the Chaldean area with our forefathers like Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. They say that the book of Job was actually one of the first books written. They actually say that history goes back unto those days. And a lot of people don't know that, but they do that based on the people who are involved in the story of Job. They say Job, the third book of the Ketubim. Ketubim means writings. Ketubim. You have the Tanakh. Tanakh is the Torah. Right?
Absolutely.
The Nun in Tanakh is the Nabaim, the books of the prophets. And then you have what they have, Ketubim. And Ketubim is a book of the writings.
Okay.
When you have all those together, you add them all together, you have the Tet, the Nun, and the Kaf, and they call it Tanakh. And Tanakh means the Old Testament to a lot of people, modern people today. So when they say Ketuvim, they actually say the book of the writings is what they're talking about. Ketuvim is the end portion, it's the writings. You have the Torah, you have the book of the prophets, and then you have the Ketuvim, which is the book of the writings. All of those three acronyms together says Tanakh. Tet, Nun, Kaf. Tanakh. Okay? They say that Job is the first book of the Ketuvim. Has the Hebrew and Greek title Job, a name which is said to mean one who is persecuted. The book has been called the greatest works of Hebrew literature and one of the greatest poetical works of the world literature. In Ezekiel, Job is listed together with Noah and Daniel as an example of absolute piety. See, our mission in life is to be on one accord with the will of the Creator.
Yeah.
So that one day people can say about our piety was high and elevated above that of mortal man. Piety shows a form of excellence. Doesn't mean that you're perfect in every way. It means that you are displaying an excellent character when it comes to a righteous behavior.
Yeah.
One of the best manners to display an excellent character is to walk in your integrity. Walking in your integrity means that you don't willingly, voluntarily do things that you know are against the teachings or the commands of the Creator.
Yeah.
We put up a post in the room the other day. It said, for a lot of Hebrew Israelites, I just want you to know that we are not supposed to work on the Shabbat day. Well, we got all types of understandings and comeback and feedbacks and why we can work on the Shabbat, why we should work on the Shabbat, we're in captivity. See, these people are not walking in their integrity. To walk in your integrity, you don't question right or wrong, good or bad. You question what the Most High said for you to do.
Absolutely.
And that's how you operate. That's walking in your integrity. Job, he got to a place in his life where he was busting out with boils all over his face, all over his body. He was in excruciating pain. And his people said to him, you must have sinned for something. Job said, no, I haven't sinned. And they didn't accept that. They didn't believe it. Because to them, every man is full of sin. Job could make that statement that I haven't sinned because Job walks in his integrity. To sin is a deliberate violation or a violation against the teachings, the laws, the statutes, the commandments of the Almighty. Job, at that time, did not have what we have in the book, but he did have commandments of the Creator. The Most High said that Abraham was perfect. He obeyed all of his commands. So there was commandments of the Almighty available for our people in those days, in one way, fashion, or another. Rather it was oral, rather it was written down, or rather it was customary that we just did. But there was laws that the Most High had in place for our people to follow in those days. Job walked in his integrity, which means that he did not willingly violate or disrespect the higher power that he served, which happens to be El Shaddai. All through the book of Job is written, El Shaddai. That's the Creator. And this is how we are supposed to do today in this day and time. And if we did that, a lot of this persecution that we see, a lot of this punishment that we're going through, a lot of these bad relationships that we're entering into, a lot of the pressure, the poverty that we're suffering in our lives wouldn't be there. We're going to cover a lot of things today. We're going to cover a lot of subjects today, different scriptures. We're going to cover several different scriptures, but they're all going to have the same premise of integrity, to teach you how to walk upright before the Almighty. You see, a lot of people on the day is breaking down a whole lot of stuff. They want to bring forth some teachings that they've learned from somebody taught them, and that's fine. If that's where your level of understanding is and you need to learn those things, then that's fine. But where we're trying to take you at Temple Kifarim, always, we try to feed your soul so that your mind will be right as you walk before the Almighty. Shabbat Shalom, Moriel. We try to feed you in your inward parts so your exterior will bring about the proper functions as you go through your daily activities in life. If your interior is not right, your exterior cannot display righteousness and holiness and sanctification. It can't, because it can't produce what it doesn't have. So you have to work on a man from the insides to educate him toward the commandments of the Most High, so that his exterior will replicate what's on his inwardmost parts. Like, for example, if a man is not a homosexual by nature, if this man is not homosexual, and he have no homosexual thoughts in his mind, he's not going to sell himself to another man on the street. He's not going to entertain laying down with another man. It wouldn't even come in his mind. The only way that we can accurately have that type of character is that we display, study, learn how to program our minds to be focused on the loyalty and obedience to the great King, El Shaddai, El Elyon, El Rakum, the Master, Yotzer, the Creator of all creation, the power of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. My brother told me, I mentioned this to you all at the last meeting last week, and he mentioned something about the understanding of the Most High, the laws of the Most High, must be in our inward parts so deeply embedded that whenever something happens to us, our automatic response is based on the teachings of the Torah. What I mean? When you walk in a house, based on what's in a man or what's in a woman, if you're hiding behind a door, and let's say your woman is coming in the door, and she's a real woman, there's no faults in her in that area. She's not a punk woman. She's a real woman, respectable Hebrew woman. And you hide behind a door, and she come in the house, and you jump out and say, boo! And she gonna startle, oh, you scared me, or she might try to punch you. Well, that's a natural instinct. That's her natural response. That wasn't thought about. That wasn't faked. That wasn't pretended. And sisters, you can tell if your man is really a man, or if he's just a male. Hide behind the door and jump out on him one day and see how he responds to you. If he goes, ah, then you know you ain't got no man. You got to get rid of him. When he try to jump and he go in the stands and try to hurt you or do some type of defense mechanism, then you may have a real man. But that type of response, that calculation without even thinking, is how we should have the laws of the Most High in our minds if something is to take place in our lives. Let's say, for example, someone gets into an argument with you, try to start an argument with you out in the street, and they get loud and boisterous. And you get loud and boisterous, that shows that that's the type of mindset that you have. That's not the proper mindset for a servant of the Creator. The proper mindset for a servant of the Creator is to think about what the laws of the Most High has to do or say or respond or act according to the situation that you're in. It should be a spontaneous reaction. Proverbs teaches that it's best that you don't answer a fool according to his folly. He also teaches that you don't meet aggression with aggression unless it's totally necessary life dependency. He also says a calm word can calm down the negativity in so many words. Now, when that person raised their voice and became boisterous and demonstrous towards you, and you remain humbled and said, my brother, I didn't mean to offend you. Please forgive me. You may have just diverted the negativity from that brother's spirit and caused him to bethink himself to change his behavior. So what you used was the teachings of the law, the Torah, with it, which is in you, control your spirit, and not lose control of your spirit and respond based on how the world would expect you to respond. The Torah of the law must be a spontaneous reaction in our minds without us even having to think about it. If you go sit down in a restaurant and somebody say, well, I think it might be pork in there, you don't eat it. You can research, you can check it out, but once you find out, you don't eat it. But some of us will say, oh man, it's too late. Come on, I got this. Back to the thing about the Shabbat day, working on the Shabbat, people came up with excuses for all types of things. And some people actually said, well, we in captivity. So I'm going to work on the Shabbat. I would hate to be next to them when the Most High brings down his wrath. But the point that I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter where we at. The Most High says that the Shabbat shall be kept in all of your dwellings throughout all of your generations. So much that when Daniel and the Hebrew boys went into Babylon, which was not in Israel, totally different land, they kept the laws of the Creator. They kept a totally different set of rules and regulations that the Most High gave to the children of Israel. That's how they distinguished the difference between Daniel and the other boys, the rest of the people of the nation. Because of these laws, the people who chose to set Daniel up and set up the Hebrew boys, the only way that they can find fault in them was against their laws and the laws of their people in the way of worshiping as far as idolatry. So they set them up. And they said at a certain time when you hear that clock, you got to pray and prostrate toward that image. But the Hebrew men wouldn't do that because we knew better. So this shows that they followed the law even in captivity. If the person tells you you don't have to keep the Shabbat or you can't keep the laws of the Creator in captivity, then that means that you can eat pork, That means you can commit adultery. That means you can steal. You can't pick and choose what laws you want to follow. If the Most High says do it, it's your desire. You need to do it. The Most High says sacrifice. But he also gave a command in, Deuteronomy, the 12th chapter, that you can only sacrifice in a certain place.
Okay.
You know? You can't just sacrifice anywhere. There's only certain places where you are allowed to sacrifice. So that's why we don't sacrifice here in America, because America wasn't that place.
Okay.
Okay? But there are so many different laws that the Most High teaches, and he says that he gave us these laws to set us apart from the nations, so that that law will be our wisdom in that place of our captivity, or wherever we at throughout the earth. The keeping of these laws would be our wisdom, and we have to use our wisdom to distinguish the difference between us and them. A lot of people don't do that, but that's what the Creator requires of us. I believe that's Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, that we should have this law, and it will be our wisdom in the sight of all the nations that are upon the earth. Shabbat shalom, Levar. All right, let's get back to the story of Job. We're talking about integrity. It says, there was a man, Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. And that man was wholehearted, and upright. See, these are the type of things you want people to say about you. When you expire, you exasperate from this life, from this existence, from this dwelling, this form, and people talk and speak about you, these are the types of words that you will love for them to say about you. But you have to do that by walking in your integrity while you're alive, while you're here. And this man, and he was one that feared Elohim and shunned evil. He ran from evil. He hated evil. He didn't admire evil. A lot of us today, we get excited by evil. We don't fear the Most High. We don't walk in our integrity. So a lot of us are the opposite, not all of us, because there are many of us, and I applaud you, there are many of us who take on the challenge of being different by obeying the commands of the Creator under every situation in our lives. And I applaud you all. But there are too many of us who's talking about we want to go home to the land. The Creator going to take us home to the land. But my question always is, why did you get kicked out of the land? We got kicked out of the land for practicing idolatry, for polluting the land, doing all types of evil things against the commandments of the Almighty. So then how do you expect to go back into the land if you're still doing the same thing that you did that got you booted out of the land? Ask yourself this question. If you punish your child for sneaking cookies out the cookie jar, and you still got 15 cookies in the cookie jar, ain't nobody in the house but you and your child, and every day you come down there, a different cookie is missing, why would you let your child off of punishment? It doesn't make sense. Same thing with the laws. If we're not doing the laws of the Most High to perfect ourselves, not saying that we have to be perfect, but we have to make every willingly attempt to become perfect to the best of our ability. We have to make every willing attempt to get that way. And once we make those attempts to stand right and upright before the Most High King, then the Most High will hear our prayers and have mercy upon us. Okay? Shabbat shalom, Colin. Shabbat shalom, Layla. Shabbat shalom. Let's get back. And there was born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His possessions also were 7,000 sheep. Look how the Most High provided for Job. It wasn't for no reason that Job was so wealthy. Job was so wealthy, Shalom Mimo. Job was so wealthy because of his obedience and his loyalty to the Almighty King. That's why Job was so wealthy. The Most High provided for him. He gained wealth through his wisdom. His wisdom that he utilized was his obedience to the Almighty. And that's how that went down. And that's how we are going to have to make these adjustments in our lives to worship this King. So that this man was the greatest of all the children of the East. And his sons used to go and hold a feast in the house of each year. one upon his day. Now that appears to be his birthday. Job's children had feasts upon their birthday, upon their day, one in a year. And they would send and invite their sisters to eat and to drink with them. They would all come together to celebrate what I think is their birthday. And it was so, when the days of their feasting was gone about, that Job sent unto and sacrificed them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the numbers of them all. For Job said, now that was a wonderful thing. Job will offer thanks and praise to the Almighty for his children, because they were a blessing to him. Dr. Deborah, Shabbat Shalom. Job would offer thanks and prayers to the Almighty for his children. Something that we should begin to do more often and incorporate more often in our lives as well. How often do you pray for your children? How often do you thank the Almighty for your children? Job did it often. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and blasphemed Elohim in their minds. Thus did Job continuously. Now, it fell upon a day, that the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before the Creator. And Satan came also among them. So does that mean that Satan is the son of Elohim?
No.
Because he was in the midst of the sons of Elohim that came to present themselves before the Almighty on a certain day. That's another conversation that we can have at a later time. And if anybody have any questions pertaining to that, put it in a room. We'll address it before we leave. And the Creator said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Creator and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Creator said unto Satan, this is the Most High provoking a conversation with the adversarial force. He is not the enemy of the Creator. The Most High has no enemies. There is not dual natures where a lot of people like to think that the Satan is just as powerful as the Creator. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Satan is so far from the Creator that the Most High chose to rub him out with just the mere thought Satan would be gone. Be done. He says, the Most High says, hast thou considered my servant Job? Now I'm only reading this part for this particular portion. He's talking to the adversary. Can you imagine the Most High doing this for you one day? Let's say right now, the Most High chose to talk to Satan about you. Could he speak to Satan about you like this? Could he say, Sister Deborah walks before me. She's perfect and upright. Can the Most High speak to the adversary about you? Say, Dwayne, Satan, have you considered Dwayne? He's my servant and perfect and upright, which means he's walked in his integrity. Can he speak that about you, Layla? Can the Most High say those type of things about you and your actions and how you serve him with the trueness and the integrity of your essence to be right and correct? I never said perfect. Only right and correct based on your integrity. Can he speak about you like that? That should be the question you're asking yourself. He says, have you considered my servant? The Most High is a wonderful thing when the Most High considers you to be his servant. Oh man, so many men today like to acknowledge themselves as servants of the Most High, and they in all kind of stuff. Practicing all types of idolatry, committing all types of fornications, all type of evil, standing up before the people and teaching the people all kind of lies. And they know better. But then they call themselves servants of the Almighty. It's a different story when the Most High calls you his servant as opposed to when you call yourself his servant. Yeah. He says, have thou considered my servant, Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a wholehearted and upright man, one that feareth Elohim and shunneth evil. He walks in his integrity. Then Satan answered the Creator and said, does not Job fear Elohim for naught? Has not thou made the hedge around him and about his household on every side, that thou hast blessed the works of his hands? The Most High has blessed the works of his hands. He was supposed to, because Job was a very unique individual. Very unique individual. And the same types of things that the Most High utilized to bless Job with is the same types of things that the Most High will utilize to bless us with.
Yeah.
We have to remember that. Shabbat shalom, shalom. Job 2. I believe we're going all the way down to verse 7. No, let's back it up. Job 2. I'm going to start at verse 1. And it fell a day that the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before the Creator, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Creator. And the Creator said unto Satan, from whence comest thou? And Satan answered, why is my book reading like this? Job 2? Okay, let me just read it anyway. See what happened. And Satan answered the Creator and said, from going to and fro on the earth, and walking up and down in it. And the Creator said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in all the earth, walking an upright, one that feareth Elohim and shunneth evil? Something is wrong with my book. My book is repeating. Now I'm in chapter 2, but yet my book is repeating what's in verse 1. Okay, I'm going to start at verse 28. Now, I don't know if to tell you 1 and 28 or 2 and 28. What did your verse 2 and 28 say?
2 and 28.
2 and 20.
2 and 20. It says, see this book, it goes to, see it only goes to 13 and it goes to chapter 3.
Yeah, something going on. Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on in the first part of Job. But Job 2 and 3. Read your 2 and 3. Job 2 and 3. And tell me what it says.
2 and 3.
Yes.
And the Most High said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, and perfect, and an upright man, one that feared Elohim, and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity.
Still he holdeth fast his what?
Integrity.
His integrity. You see, what does that mean? Your integrity means that you don't willingly disrespect the laws and the commandments of the Almighty. A lot of times what you will do is you will sacrifice to do what the law says versus what you want to do in your heart or in your mind. Because the mind and the heart is the same word, lav in the Greek. Turn with me please to Job, the 27th chapter. Job willingly walked after the Most High in his integrity. And it's what I say to you today, family, is that this is how we all should be when we worship and serve the Almighty to the best of our ability. Shabbat shalom, Carla. You got Job 27?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You want to read?
No problem.
You might have to get a little closer so everyone can hear you.
Job chapter 27, verse 1. Moreover, Job continued his parable and said, as the Elohim continued his parable and said, as the Most High who has taken away my judgment, and the Almighty who has vexed my soul, and the while my breath is in me, and the spirit of the Elohim is in my nostrils, my lips shall speak wickedness, nor my tongue utter deceit.
Stop for a second. Job says, as long as I have the breath of life within me, given to me by the Almighty, he acknowledges that. He says, my lips will not speak wickedness. Can you say that, family? Can most of us say that about ourselves? How often do we backbite, gossip, speak evil, and try to get others to see our point of view against another brother or sister?
Yeah.
How often do we do that? Job said, I will not be guilty of those things. I will not, my lips will not speak evil. Long as I have the breath of life of the Most High in my nostrils. Neither shall my tongue utter deceit, deceitful ways. Read on, please. Shabbat Shalom, Zakeem.
Job chapter 27, verse 5. The Most High forbid that I should justify you till I die. I will not remove mine integrity from me.
Job say, I will not remove my integrity from me. This shows us that Job walks in his integrity, which is the best way for us as humans to walk before the Almighty, in our integrity, based on the commandments of the Creator. That's the best way for us to walk, because the Most High will judge you based on your integrity. For the newcomers, you're seeking to walk in the ways of the Creator. The best way for you to walk in the laws, statutes, and judgments of the Creator is in your integrity, which means that you don't willingly violate the laws of the Creator for some other reason that you choose to do. Now, if you make a mistake, that's one thing. Nobody's perfect. But for you to willingly say, well, I know the Creator said that I should not spend money on the Shabbat, I should not kindle a fire on the Shabbat, I should not do any work on the Shabbat, I should not seek my own pleasures on the Shabbat. For you to willingly say, I know I'm not supposed to do those things, but I'm like I want to go out and make this couple hours because I got to pay the light bill, the gas bill, electric bill next week. So I know what the Most High say, but I'm going to go make this couple hours so I can get these bills paid, because the Most High ain't paying my bills.
Right.
That's how you do, that's how you respond. Or ain't nobody else paying my bills. So you remove the Most High's laws from your life, and you go out and you go to work, and then when you get off of work, you come back and you want to apply the Most High laws back in your life again. That's not how it goes.
No.
That's not walking in your integrity.
No, it's not.
See, Job walked in his integrity. He obeyed the laws of the Most High, even when it was to his disadvantage, even when it wasn't to his comfort or his likings. When the Most High says, don't work on the Shabbat day, then you don't work.
Yeah.
If you got to quit your job and go to another job, then that's what you do. What I would suggest you do is try to create your own job. Then you don't have anybody that you have to answer to when you can and when you cannot work.
Yeah.
You understand me? That's the best way for it to be. Then you owe nobody nothing. But a lot of us are not in that situation. See, I speak from a different advantage point. I'm thankful for my advantage point, but I have to be realistic. In a realistic life, most people work for other people.
Yeah.
But if you work for somebody else, you have to make a decision. Do you want to honor the Creator, or do you want to honor man? Do you want to put flesh and blood before eternal life?
Yeah.
Before pleasing the Creator? You have to ask yourself that question. And most oftentimes people say Creator, 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 but in reality, those people are somewhere else in their service.
Yeah.
When they're tested, when their test comes, that keeping of the law, when their test comes, they fail. When all they needed to do was get a letter from a spiritual leader like myself, or some other spiritual leader who is truly a spiritual leader and capable of providing for the Most High's people, he will provide them with a document stating that they can't go to work on a Shabbat day. And if this job does not give you that day off, then what you can do is, because a lot of people don't know this, but there are legal actions that you can take against that job. The laboring union, you can go and you can write these people, you can call to these people, and you can complain, because people cannot infringe upon your religious rights. They can't infringe upon that. So they're not supposed to. This government do what they want, but they're not supposed to. So if you don't actively pursue taking off on the Shabbat day, then you have nothing to say. The Most High says don't work on the Shabbat, you shouldn't work on the Shabbat. Don't make up excuses talking about, well, we in the land of our captivity, so I'm going to work on the Shabbat. Or I got to keep this job, so I'm going to work on the Shabbat. Trust in the Most High. He will provide. But you have to learn to trust in Him. Not enough of us really trust in the Almighty. A lot of us talk that we trust in the Creator, but not enough of us really trust in Him. Because when our back's up against the wall, we revert to our own understanding. I'm going to suggest it to you like this. When your back is up against the wall, see that wall is hard. When your back is up against the wall, pray, fast, meditate, take it to the Creator. Be true to the teachings of the Almighty, and the Most High will bring you through. He will show you the way. He will open doors that you didn't even believe, you didn't even think about, you couldn't even imagine existed. He will make a way for you. But you have to do like Job did and walk in your integrity before the Creator. Read on, please.
Job 27, verse 6.
Start at verse 5, please.
Verse 5. God forbid that I justify you. Till I die, I will not remove my integrity from me. My righteousness I hold fast, and I will not let go.
My righteousness I hold fast. How many of us can actually say that? You see, we can do that when it's easy things like eating pork. Some of us can even do it on the Shabbat day. When it's like working on the Shabbat day, some of us can do that. But there are other things that we have difficulty in remaining obedient and righteousness with. You'd be surprised at some people's habits. I had a talk last night with one of my sisters, my cousin actually, and I went to her house and visited her. She may be watching now, and I asked her to join in. I actually invited her to come, but I said if you can't come and join in, her husband may be joining in. He might be watching, and if he is, if he chooses, he can make himself known. Now she was raised up in this way with us for the last 30 years, something like that. And she hadn't been going to services anywhere for a while. And conversation came up. One of her girlfriends was at the house, and the girlfriend doesn't practice this truth. She don't live this way. So the girlfriend said, such and such, we're going to get a bushel of crabs delivered to us. And the girlfriend, when she said that, my cousin looked at me. I said, what? We're going to get a bushel of crabs delivered to us. I looked over at my cousin. I said, really? My heart was so hurt. You know, I can understand why some people do some things when they feel like they have no other way out. I'm not saying that that's an excuse. But to deliberately eat and do things that you know are unpleasing to the Creator is an abomination. My cousin looked at me. She said, I know. She said, I ain't always eat them. I know you didn't. She went way back to the days before we came into this truth, before we realized who we were. When we used to buy crabs and give them to them, I used to get bushels of them and give it to them and let them eat them. That's the kind of man I am. You know, I'm thinking I'm doing something good, didn't realize I was poisoning them. Didn't realize I was causing them to go against the laws of the Most High because we didn't know the laws of the Creator. But now that we know, our integrity, hers had gotten weak. Now that we know what the laws of the Almighty are, we are to walk in those laws. We are to uphold those laws to the best of our ability. That's what your integrity means. Okay? So we had a long talk about what she does, and that sparked a conversation. And at the end of the conversation, you know, I'm going to remind them of the laws of the Creator through my whole visit there. That's just who I am. I'm a walking Torah. We just talk about the Creator wherever I go. When I spend some time, we talking about the law. Man, when I was getting up to leave, she had to stop and thank me for coming. She said because she was feeling so empty inside. And now she feels so refreshed. She feels so alive. It was the life that I brought, bringing and reflecting and reminding her of the laws of the Almighty. We all need somebody in our lives that when we fall, they got to lift us back up. They got to bring us back to a level of reality where, oh, you slipping, bro. Or you slipping, sis. That person, that individual Find who that individual is for you in your life and hold on to them. Don't let them go. And if that person has a class or lessons or teachings or any type of thing, you should be there. Because obviously your spirit connects, your soul connects with that individual. And we need that upliftment in our lives just to keep us walking on a straight and narrow path.
Okay.
I don't think she ate them crabs after that. They wasn't there. They wasn't there when I was there.
I bet she did.
Yeah, I bet she ate ours.
I bet she
No,
did.
she's a good, listen, it really surprised me that she was eating crabs. Shabbat Shalom Baruch. It really surprised me she was eating crabs. And the conviction that she had on her face when I found out was extremely embarrassing. Extremely embarrassing. And I believe that she said she needed it. She needed to hear that. The Creator sent you here for this reason. You fed me today. I'm happy. I'm pleased. I feel re-energized. I'm cool. That might have been the lifeline that she needed before the Most High brought his wrath.
Okay.
So now she has to make a decision. Excuse me. If she's going to continue to walk in her integrity, or if she's going to be like a lot of people and ignore the things that she knows she's supposed to do with the Most High and do what she wants to do, whatever her flesh tells her to do. That's evil. We all come to a place in our lives where we get that opportunity to make that decision.
Yeah.
She's chosen to walk in the ways of the Almighty thus far. I truly believe, I truly feel within my essence that she's going to be a better servant to the Creator than probably she's ever been. For several reasons. Now she's more mature. She's older now. She's a lot more settled now. And now, after that conversation yesterday, she's re-energized. So they're probably listening now. I don't know. They're probably somewhere listening. If they're not, they watch the video. I made sure that her husband became my Facebook friend so that we can do these things at a later time. But let's read on. Tell us where you at.
We're in Job chapter 27, verse 6. My righteousness I hold fast and will not let go. My heart shall not reproach me as long as I live. Let mine enemy be as wicked, and he that riseth up against me as the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the hypocrite through he has gained when the Most High taken away his soul?
Now I need you to read that again. Watch what he says, family. Because you know, when you know what the Creator requires of you, you teach something one thing, but you do something else, that makes you what?
Hypocrite.
A hypocrite. Job realized that there were hypocrites in his time and in the future to come. Job is speaking about those brothers and sisters who know better but don't do better. That's what he's speaking about. He's saying, what will become of you when the Most High takes your soul? Think about it, family, because that will keep you on the straight and narrow path. It gives you something to think about. But not only that, how will your life play out? What type of things will be taking place in your life? What type of struggles will you be meeting in your life if you don't walk in the ways of the Almighty King? Read on, please.
We're going to start at chapter 27, verse 6 again. My righteousness I hold fast, and I will not let go. My heart shall not reproach me as long as I live. Let my enemy be as wicked, and he riseth up against me as the unrighteous. For what is the hope of the hypocrite through he has gained when the Most High taken away his soul? Will the Most High hear his cry when trouble cometh upon him?
Will the Most High hear your cries, O you backsliding Israel? Will the Most High hear your cries when trouble comes your way? Some people don't have a place to live. Some people don't have food to eat. Some people don't have enough money to pay their bills. Some people, their daughters, their children, they're hurt. They're laying in a hospital ready to die. Their husband don't want them. Their wife don't want the husband. The children are disrespectful, arrogant, nasty toward them. There are so many things that's taking place. Some people got a house, but no water, no electric, no gas. A lot of these things are the Most High trying to get your attention.
Okay.
Most of these things are because you didn't handle your business when they first came up.
Okay.
You did other things instead of handling your business. But a lot of times the Most High be just trying to get your attention So he'll bring a little bit of a calamity in your life. May the Most High have mercy on those who are faced with these conditions, because on a personal level, these things are deep. So may the Most High have mercy on you if you are really faced with these situations and conditions in life. But a lot of times the Most High placed these things in your life, these conditions in your life, to better you, to fine-tune you, to cause you to return back unto Him, to cause you to see what you should have been doing from the beginning and how you left off from doing what was right and pleasing and acceptable to the Creator. Read on, please.
Where Job 27 verse 10.
Shabbat shalom, Didi.
Will he delight himself in the Almighty? Will he always call upon his God?
See, when these calamities fall, Job is asking, during these calamities, during these times, will you find delight in the Almighty again? You know, a weak man will begin to blame the Creator. I had a weak woman one time in my life. I did. I thank the Creator she's gone. Oh, I thank the Creator. Oh, I thank the Creator she's gone. If she's watching this video, she's probably cussing me out right now, but that's okay. But I thank the Creator she's gone. I remember she used to curse the Creator. We were full-blown in this way of life. And she used to curse the Creator for things that didn't go the way that she wanted things to go. I had to get rid of her. She wasn't no good. She was a poison. Job is saying that those people who are meeting calamities in their lives, the correct thing to do will be turn back to the Most High and ask the Most High to cleanse you of anything that is unlike Him that is within you. Anything that you do that is not pleasing and acceptable to the Creator, ask the Most High to remove them from you. Ask Him to expose you to them so that you can avoid them in the future. Walk in your integrity, family. Walk in your integrity. Read on, please.
Verse 11. I will teach you by the hand of the Almighty, that which is the Almighty will I not conceal. Behold, ye all ye selves have seen it. Why then are ye thus allowed with Salaka? Behold, ye yourselves have seen it. Why then are ye altogether in vain? This is the portion of the wicked man of the Most High, the heritage of the oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty. If his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Those that remain of him shall be buried in death, and his widow shall not weep. Though he heap up silver as the dust, and prepare the remnant as the clay, he may prepare it, but they just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver.
That means that those people who might become wealthy in their evil, they won't take the benefit after they leave and part this life to hand that benefit down to their family, their children, and their descendants to live on through the wealth that the evil one had generated. He's saying that those people, they're supposed to return back to the Creator. But their wealth, a more righteous man shall take hold of it. A more righteous woman shall take hold of it and enjoy the benefits and the increase of it. Read on, please.
Verse 18. He buildeth his house as a moth, and as a booth that the keeper maketh. The rich man shall lie down, but he shall not be gathered. He opened his eyes, and he is not. Terrors took hold of him, as waters, as tempest stealeth him away in the night.
So the best way I can explain that to you is never boast about your riches, because it can be taken away. As soon as you open your eyes, it can all disappear and be gone. The best thing you can do in a life is to thank the Most High for all the blessings that He gives you in life, all the many ways that He's provided for you. Read on, please.
Verse 21. The east wind carrieth him away, and he departed, as a storm hurleth him out of his space. For the Most High shall cast upon him, and not spare. He would flee out of his hand. Man shall clap their hands at him, and he shall hiss him out of his place.
Now let's turn to Job 31.
31.
Job walked so much and so deep in his integrity that he made a covenant with his eyes. That he didn't want his eyes traveling in the evil places.
Okay.
And so many of us find pleasure allowing our eyes. Now, why is it the eyes? Because the eyes are the doorway to the soul. What does that mean, Prince? It means that what you see with your eyes will cause you to desire things, which will affect your soul ultimately. Because if you see something evil with your eyes and you desire to have that and you bring that upon yourself, you're bringing in evil in your life. So the eyes are the doorway. Job made a covenant with his eyes. For example, a man sees another man's wife. You in class and you sees another man's wife. You just happen to look over there and say, damn, she is fine. Mm-hmm. That's evil.
Okay.
You see? But you allow your eyes to see and your mind not to control your vision.
Okay.
And you allowed your mind to fluctuate and run and cause your soul to be in error.
Okay.
That's evil. So let's see the covenant that Job had to make with his eyes, which would allow his essence to become purified. Job walked in his integrity in every aspect of the life of the law. Read on, please.
Job chapter 31, verse 1. I made a covenant with mine eyes. Why then should I think upon a maid? For what portion of the Elohim is there from above? And what is the inheritance of the Almighty from on high? Is it not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity? Doth not he not see my ways, and count all my steps?
Whoa. What did he say? He said, don't the Most High see my ways?
And count my steps.
And sees everything that I do by counting my steps?
Everything.
He know everywhere I go.
Everywhere.
You know, you try to sneak somebody in your house late at night under the cover of dark.
Yes.
The Most High sees it.
Okay.
You go out and you do it outside of your house and you pay a couple of dollars for it, the Most High sees it.
Okay.
If you're an alcoholic, the Most High sees it.
Okay.
If you're a pothead, the Most High sees it.
Okay.
If you smoke cigarettes, the Most High sees it.
Okay.
If you violate the Shabbat day,
Most High sees it.
the Most High sees it. Job understood that, but a lot of us move in the spirit as if we can do things and the Most High not know. That's foolish.
Okay.
Read on, please.
We're verse 5. If I have walked in vanity, or if my foot has hastened to deceit, let me be weighed in an even balance, that the Most High may know mine integrity.
That the Most High may know what?
My integrity.
That the Most High may know mine integrity. So for all you new people in this way of life, you want to be pleasing to the Almighty? Walk in your integrity. Everything you do because you know that it is lawful, right, and acceptable in the eyes of the Creator for you to do. Walk in your integrity, and man can't judge you for anything. Watch how the whole circumstances of your life change for the better when you begin to walk in your integrity.
Okay.
Read on, please.
We're at verse 7. If my step have turned out of the way, and mine heart walk after mine eyes, and if any blot have cleaved to mine hands, then let me sow, and let another eat.
What do you say? If my mind or my heart walketh after my eyes. If my heart or my mind is not in control of my understanding of what I see, then I'm a fall victim.
Okay.
Because you see a lot of things that are attractive in this world. And you give in, oh, she look good. She half dressed, stomach hanging out, booty shorts on. Oh, man, you're seeing that with your eyes.
Okay.
And your mind is saying, oh, let me see if I can get that for me. You look at the righteous sister who's dressed appropriately, and you have no attraction to that.
Okay.
But you see the little evil little wench. I say that intentionally. You see the little evil little wench over there with her stomach hanging all out, her cleavage, her breasts all exposed, see-through shirts, and little booty shorts on with the booty cheeks hanging out at the bottom. You see that and you begin to desire it.
Okay.
Because you don't have control over your eyes. You see? And you're not walking in your integrity.
Okay.
And sisters, the same thing can happen for you. You could see another woman's husband, and you married to a husband already, and you say, well, damn, he look good. Damn. Man, I wonder how they... See, you allowed your eyes to not be controlled by your mind, by your integrity, by the laws of the Creator. Everything we do should be a spontaneous reaction based on the laws of the Almighty. Everything. And if we can manage that, if we can do that, if we can achieve that, then we have achieved something great. And the circumstances of our lives will change immediately for the better. Read on, please.
We're at verse 8. Then let me sow, and let another eat. Yea, let my offspring be rooted out. If mine heart had been deceived by a woman, or if I have laid wait at my neighbor's door, then let my wife grind until another, and let others bow down upon her.
He's saying, if I do evil, intentional evil, then I'm willing to even sacrifice the one that I love. See, this is how serious Job is with walking after the Almighty. We have to be just as serious, family. We have to be just as serious. A lot of men wonder why their women commit adultery, or why the Creator allowed their women to be given to somebody else. A lot of times it's because of what you do and how you serve this king. There could be many different variations of reasons, but sometimes that's the reason. Read on, please.
We're at verse 11. For this is an heinous crime. Yea, it is an iniquity to be punished by the judges. For it is a fire that consumeth to destruction, and would root out all mine increase. If I despise the cause of mine manservant, or my maidservant, then they contended with me. When then shall I do, when the Most High riseth up? And when he visiteth, what shall I answer him? Did he not make it? Did he not make me in the womb make him? Or did he not one fashion us in the womb? If I have withheld the poor from their desire, or have caused the eyes of the widow to fall.
He's saying, if I have withheld the poor from his desire, which means that it's in my hand to give, and I see that this brother is needy, and I don't give, then I'm evil. I mean, y'all got to really read this and understand how to become a righteous individual. If you have a family next door to you that you know that's struggling, you know they're struggling because the kids be dirty looking. The wife might have a car, the car is broken down on the side of the road most of the time. The electric is cut off sometimes. They might not have any running water or healthy running water or much running water. No gas. Whatever it might be. It could be any of those things. It could be all of those things. It could be very little. And here it is, you got 30,000 stacked up in the bank just sitting. All your bills, you're meeting your obligations regularly as you're supposed to. You go to Shabbat service and you worship the Creator. You're on Facebook, you're listening to my classes, you're listening to Prince teach. You know, you're doing all the things that you're supposed to do as a servant of the Creator. Except when you see that family over there struggling, you turn a blind eye. You talk about them to your neighbors and your friends and your family members. Man, she got all them kids over there. She got like 9 kids and can't do nothing for none of them. Why she keep opening up her legs? Ain't no man in the house. Ain't nothing going on over there, but you'll talk about them. Job is letting us know that that's an evil behavior. That's an evil practice. What we should do in righteousness is walk to that sister, talk to that sister, and see whatever we can do to help. Situation might be vice versa. It might not be a woman. It might be a man in that situation struggling. Walk and talk to that individual and try to see what we can do to help them in their situation. And if you're like me, this is the type of stuff I do. If you're like me and you see a need, then meet that need. They don't need to know where it came from. Send them what they need. Let's say she need a car, and you able, buy her a car. Leave it outside our house. The title can be in her name. You can put the title in anybody's name you want, or his name. You can do that. This is some real stuff. You can do this kind of stuff. Get it registered, put it in their name, leave the keys, title, mail it to them, put the car in front of their door, step off. Nobody need to know. You can get a car for $1,000 if that's the case.
Okay.
It's better than what she's driving now. She has nothing.
Right.
Who's going to turn away a gift like that?
No.
A fool. Or if you see that they need their grass cut, then every week pay the man to cut their grass.
Mm.
If she got a lot of kids in the house, pay one of them to cut the grass.
Mm.
Teach them responsibility. You can help the family in so many different ways other than talking about them, making fun of them, and shaming them. Because that's going to bring about an evil, negative spirit upon their household and upon you. And you don't want to do that. Read on, please.
Verse 17. Or have I eaten my morsel?
These are righteous behaviors, righteous teachings that we're sharing with the family today. Read on.
Verse 17. Or have I eaten my morsel myself alone, and have the fatherless have not eaten thereof? For from my youth he was brought up with me, and with my father, and I have guided her from my mother's womb. If I have not seen any perish from want of clothing, or any poor without covering, if his loins have not blessed me, and if he were not warm with the fleece of my sheep, if I have lifted up my hand against the fatherless, when I saw my help in the gate, then let mine arm fall, and mine shoulder bleed, and mine arm be broken from the bone.
Where you at?
22.
Okay, read on, please.
Verse 23. For the destruction of the Most High was a terror to me, and by the reason of his highness I could not endure. If I had made gold my hope, or have made said to the fine gold, thou art my confidence. If I have rejoiced because my wealth was great, and because mine hand had gotten much, if I beheld the sun when it had shined, or the moon walking in the brightness, and mine heart have been secretly enticed, and my mouth hath kissed my hand. This also were the iniquity to be punished by the judge, for I should have denied the Most High that is above. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found in him, neither have I suffered my mouth to the sin by wishing a curse upon his soul. If the man of my tabernacle said not, oh, that we had of his flesh, we cannot be satisfied. The stranger did not lodge in the street, but I opened my doors to the traveler. If I covered my transgressions as Adam, by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom, did I fear the great multitude, or did I contempt of families terror me, that I kept silence, and went not out of the door? Oh, that one would hear me. Behold, my desire is that the Almighty would never answer me, and that mine adversary had written a book. Surely I would take upon it upon my shoulder, and bind it as a crown to me. I would declare unto him the number of my steps. As a prince would I go near unto him. If my land cry against me, or that the furries likewise therefore complain, then I have eaten the fruits thereof without money, or I have caused the owners thereof to lose their life. Let the whistles grow instead of the wheat, and the cockle instead of the barley. The words of Job are ended.
All right.
Would you want me to go to 32?
No, we've done enough. Are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions? Do you have any questions? Okay. So the best way for us to walk, like Sister Deborah said, is within our integrity. Walk in your integrity before the Almighty. That means do not do anything that you know is willingly against the laws of the Creator.
It's no excuse.
Be as perfect as you possibly can. Right? May the Most High be praised We'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has joined us on this Shabbat day, asking that you go out and share the videos so that whomever, if not you, whomever the message is for, that it will reach them. That the words of the Most High may help to enlighten them and also cause us to have a speedy return back unto Him. May the Most High be praised forever